Are you serious? What is even that? I didn't even get in a game and already lost connection, and it's not my internet, by the way. We are still connected. Okay. What's going on, guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja. So, disclaimer, we're going to talk about Skeleton Crew, but I hope I left a clip in here before. If not, well, I tried to get Galactic Assault. We waited a long time for the lobby to fill up, and we were getting in it. And the moment it starts loading, it disconnected me. And it wasn't my internet. Our internet is fine. But yeah, hopefully I left that clip in there so you can see that I'm not making stuff up. But that's just how it goes. We tried finding other lobbies, but we couldn't find any. So it's just how it goes when you're trying to make videos. Anyway, that's out of the way. We're going to talk about Skeleton Crew, and there's going to be spoilers. So nobody whining in the comments if I spoiled something. Episode 7's here. Did I like it? Yeah, I enjoyed it. Overall, did I like the show? Yes. There you go, straight to the point. Do I give it a thumbs up? I give the show a thumbs up. Is it a great show? No, not particularly great. Can you enjoy it? Yeah. At the end of the day, it is a kid's show. We kind of knew that going in there. It's kind of obvious, so it can get away with a little more cheesiness than I would say adult one. At least for me, anyway. Like, you know, like Mandalorian or something's a little less kiddie than this. You know, and Andor, for example, is a lot less kiddie than this show was. But at the end of the day, it was a pretty cool episode. One of the things I really liked for this show in general was, going in, our prediction was that this guy was going to be a Jedi and he was going to ultimately find one of them Force sensitive, and then they would be, you know, get him into the Jedi Order. None of that happened, which I actually liked. I actually liked that he was a bad guy. Then I was concerned that he was going to go and, like, they're hinting he's going to be a bad guy, and then ultimately he's going to be a good guy in the end. They didn't do that. Another thumbs up. They let the bad guy be a bad guy, which I liked. They didn't have to have some silver lining at the end with the bad guy, like, oh, he's still good. He's just misunderstood. You know, a lot of kids shows do that. No, he was just the bad guy, which I liked. A little weird they didn't kill him. I don't know why. It's also a little weird he didn't kill the kids, but maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he's not that bad of a guy. I don't know, but either way, my only problem with it, again, but it is a kid's show at the end of the day, so I'm saying this with, you know, big disclaimer, but it really was, it did get really kiddie with the combat and the how he lost, and that part was a little like eye-rolly, but again, it is a kid's show. Now, if they had done this in Andor, oh man, I'm gonna be up in arms, bro. Like, you can't be doing that in Andor. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is a kid's show, so can we really be surprised? That's just how they do things.
Really should have taught you not to be so impulsive.
But the main thing I did like about it, which got me a little more excited going forward for, like, the Thrawn stuff, in whatever show that's gonna be, Ahsoka or whatever, you know, the movie down the line. They had X-Wings come in and have space combat, if you will, taking out the pirate capital ship. And honestly, the CGI, the graphics looked awesome. That was one of my biggest concerns going forward with, like, the Thrawn arc, and we're gonna get space combat most likely, and if it looks like Acolyte and some of that stuff, it just looks so bad. Here, they did a good job. It looked awesome. It was awesome seeing B-Wings in action with the big-ass laser. Shouldn't cuss, but oh well, it's too late. We've already done it.
Lovely.
Side note, we're on the bad team. So from that standpoint, that was awesome. The pirates were a little, you know, wonky. I don't know. But again, it is a kid's show, so if you're still on the fence about seeing it, don't go into it expecting the most adult thing. You're not gonna. If that's what you want, do not watch it. But if you just want to go in there and, you know, enjoy a Star Wars show that is Goonie-esque. If you've seen the movie Goonies, you know what I'm talking about. It's along those lines. Where this show wasn't made for people like me. I was not its target audience. But there's also stuff in there that I could find enjoyment, which I did enjoy. But at the end of the day, it's better than Acolyte. I'll take this over Acolyte. Acolyte had a better chance of advancing the Star Wars story, at least in topics that I'm more interested in, where Acolyte really wasn't or didn't do that. Questions I have going after Acolyte, like, so that planet has all that money, right? I forgot how many, but they had like 1,300 vaults or some big number. It was at 8,000. I don't know, but they swimming in the cash, bro. You would imagine. Well, let me put it this way: the show ends like, wow, the New Republic's the good guys. Let's go, you know, like that. But this is where the realistic me comes in. You think they're just gonna let them have that money? Heck no, dude. They're gonna need to fund their new fleets and shit with that, dude. But the New Republic realistically would be a very bad guy here. They're gonna, John doesn't take the money, but guess who's doing it now? The New Republic is. It's just, you know, I would imagine that's the way it's gonna go. Maybe down the line they'll try to make him look better. random hypothesis, I don't know, or if
There is no chaos.
let's say the the New Republic's the good guys, like, yeah, you can have the money. Next thing you know, Thrawn goes up, since all these shows probably will tie in some way. And the New Republic needs money to go after Thrawn. There you go, they have the money now, so I would imagine they have it anyway, but... And they did just save your planet, so, those guys are kind of in debt to them. They'll probably catch them up like, hey, the Republic is gone now. We the... Not New Republic. Well, I mean, yeah, they are actually the New Republic at the time. That is their name. But, it's like... we'll see. We'll see where this goes with the overall Star Wars story, but... The turbo laser did come into play, which did look cool firing, but... I'm like, dude, those pirates, dude, they ain't taking over shit. Those pirates were dumb. But again, it's because it's a kid's movie, but... Yeah. Another interesting thing that I wanted to randomly touch on. I don't know the dude's name. One of the pirates. We saw him in The Mandalorian, right? So that pirate is still being a pirate. He survived his encounter on AnarchYxNinja, right? So he knows. Well, he didn't see it personally, but I guess he still knew that they were going for the money. But he survived that encounter, and he's still a pirate. So why wouldn't he tell more people about AnarchYxNinja's location? Because if he survived, I would imagine more survived. And I would imagine word gets out that there's a lot of money on AnarchYxNinja. Maybe the New Republic defends the place so pirates can't go get it now. Because obviously the barrier's destroyed. And maybe that's how... Like, you would think if that pirate survived into the Mandalorian, why wouldn't he be trying to, like... Yo, we gotta go back, dude. But I would imagine it's because the New Republic's gonna defend it. But who knows? Oh, here's one of these Vaders who stands there to be like, haha, look how good I am. I love when Vaders do that. We're over here having a chat, and he's over here thinking we're having like this super serious duel, and he's still getting destroyed. But he'll get a force choke and then win the duel and be like, yeah, I'm so good! That's usually how heroes versus villain goes. But dang, he still lost. Oh, but it didn't let me hit him there, even though I should have. That's embarrassing, but it's fine. Come here, Vader. We're not done. I'm talking AnarchYxNinja and shit. Come here. You just lucky this game likes you more than me. But it will be interesting to see how that ties into, the overall Star Wars story. I think that money, we have not seen the end of that money. At the end of the day, that is a lot of money. And these guys have been on the sideline for a while. They're probably going to want to get in politically. I'm sure those family members would probably end up being on a council of leading that planet. And they're going to want to side with the X-Wing people. So, yeah, I would imagine that's where that goes. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the show. It was nothing terribly great. Yeah, I'm not like, this ain't comparing with Game of Thrones. Honestly, Mando season 1 and 2, I love it way more than this. Season 3, no. Yeah, man, this season of Acolyte is better than season 3 of Mando. No, or excuse me, I said it wrong. This show here, Skeleton Crew, is better than season 3 of Mando, but that's not really saying much. Season 3 of Mando was pretty trash, but in the grand scheme of things, it did add things to the overall story, I think, that we'll see going forward with Thrawn. But yeah, I just wonder what's gonna happen with Jod. They didn't show that they even captured him, so in theory he could escape too, but I don't know, man. Frankly, I got a shit on Jod. I'm sure all the super positive Star Wars fans that love everybody are saying how amazing of a character Jod is, but his character sucks, dude. And again, part of it is because it is a kid's show at the end of the day. We gotta be honest, but let's also be honest. This is canon, okay? This guy just got outplayed by some kids and some elderly people who don't know anything about anything militarily or Jedi or battle related, and he got outsmarted by them. And you have a gun, you have force powers, you have a sword, and you got outplayed. You had a pirate ship. So at the end of the day, anybody telling you Jod's some super powerful, really, no, dude. This guy ain't nothing, bro. I'd rather have a bag of chips than him, dude, because he in terms of power, is nothing, bro. Yeah. Cool. I like the acting in the show, especially from the adults. The kids are a little wonky. The dad, too, of, what's his name? Win. No offense. He had moments where he was a little wonky, too, with the acting. But, yeah. What else? Excuse me. Trying not to get sick. What else? I don't really have anything. I mean, we're going to extend this to the next game, so we probably won't edit this part out. Like, the only things I have to talk about just get written off because it's a kid's show, which, again, I'm not complaining. It's just, it's the way it is, but none of the good guys died, really. So, that's the only thing, really, but again, it's a kid's show, so we can't really... I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying. Like, they had the part when, what's the cybernetic girl was crashing? Oh my god, whip! Like, nobody expected, like, she's not dead, dude. Like, they're not killing the kid. Disney ain't killing the kid, dude. I wish that would have been really cool if they had like let people die. But I get it from, you know, this movie's what it set out to do. It accomplished those goals. So what the Acolyte set out to do did not accomplish those goals. What this movie, or excuse me, show set out to do did accomplish those goals. So from that standpoint, it did its job. It did good. The viewer numbers are low. But can we really be surprised? Star Wars, let's face it, is at an all-time low, really, in terms of fans, in terms of fan enjoyment of the show. Coming off the Acolyte, which, whether you like it or not, doesn't matter. It really did not get received well, right? So can we really be surprised? Especially when it's so focused on going to be a kid's show. Like, yeah, the numbers being the lowest are really not a surprise. What else do I have to say on this? I don't really have anything else to say on this. Well, I guess one little... It's not a nitpick, but it's a positive nitpick, I guess, is when they were calling the New Republic... It's the New Republic at this time, right? Yeah. I'm stupid. There's too many Star Wars things different time. Like, yeah, it's the New Republic. So when they're coming in, I'm like, okay, so these guys are doing a ground invasion. A shitty ground invasion. I'm not getting into the military tactics, really. Because, again, it's a kid's show. But, like, the pirates are going in there. They have a ground army. I'm like, so if you just call a few X-Wings, they're not going to be able to clear out the rebels. They can shoot down the ships, but at the end of the day, you're going to need some ground troops to get in here to really free the city, right? And at first, it was just the X-Wings and B-Wings. I'm like, come on, we need to see a big capital ship, or... it's not really a capital ship, but a Corellian Corvette. I don't know if you'd classify that as a capital ship. I don't think so. But... when it came in, I'm like, there you go. That explains where the ground troops are going to come in. That's a little detail that the kids wouldn't even think about. Most adults don't even care. But me, from my military part of it that I do like to do, again, it's a kid's show. You can give it more leeway. But I was like, man, the X-Wing pilots can't land and shoot everybody. That's not going to make sense. Then that ship came in at the end. I'm like, all right, thank you. They threw me a bone. They threw me a bone because they knew I was going to question it, even in the kids' show. But luckily, they did it. So that's one of the little positives the show did well. At this rate, we'll just end the video here since nobody fucking... No, excuse me. Sorry. Don't mean to cuss. Nobody plays this game. Oh, there we go. Just because they just wanted me to cuss so I can potentially get demonetized and then they'll find a game. Okay. But, yeah. What else do we got on this show? I don't know, man. I don't really got much else to say, and we're starting the second game. I guess we'll just play the game, but... I know the moment I turn this off, I'm going to think of all the other things I wanted to say. I guess, randomly, where would I rank this show? I don't know. Maybe it's something someone will probably ask on stream. Where would I rank this show in terms of Star Wars shows? That's tough. Because to me, Andor's up there probably at number 1. Mando Season 1 or 2 are probably neck and neck with Andor. Season 3, we don't talk about Season 3 of Mando. We don't talk about that one. So after that, what other shows we got? We got Kenobi, we got Book of Boba. I feel like, we got Ahsoka. Where would I rank these shows? What order? I'll put Andor number 1, Mando Season 1 and 2 slightly below it. How would I rank these shows? I guess Ahsoka would be below Mando.
Surely we can be civilized about this.
This show would probably go after Ahsoka. I'm really thinking of this. I'm really thinking. Now the hardest one, the ones I dislike. I think I would have to put Kenobi below this. Well, I mean, it has to be. Kenobi's horrible. And then the Book of Boba. I think I'm forgetting a show, though. Am I forgetting a Star Wars show? I don't know. Book of Boba's the lowest because they couldn't even get the directing right. They just made rookie mistakes. Like, I'm not getting into why I don't like those. But I put it there. What did I put it behind? Ahsoka? Again, I don't think any of these shows are particularly fantastic and amazing. Like, will they compete with my love of Game of Thrones or something like that? No, none of these shows do that, to be honest. The best writing was definitely Andor. And acting. They just did a better job, to be honest, on those little things. And then you got shows like Book of Boba, which did the exact opposite of pretty much everything. So I put this show it's kind of middle of the pack for me, honestly. And it could be higher if they took this style of writing the show and put it in a story that would suit my liking and preferences more. I would have rated it higher, potentially. But at the end of the day, it's made for kids, and I don't particularly want to, That's not what I go out to seek when I'm watching a show, but because it's Star Wars, I watched it. But I still put it middle of the pack. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to watch kids stuff, don't watch this show, you guys. But if you want to watch it, you know, if you have a kid, I'm sure most of you have a kid, they're probably already watching it if they're into Star Wars, but you could watch it with your kid. It has kid stuff, but it also has stuff for the adults that can get there. It's not going to go any, like, super crazy jokes or nothing along those lines. But, you know, you can watch it and you can enjoy the show. I did, and I don't have kids that watched it with me, so, yeah. I enjoy it at the end of the day. But I still think Star Wars overall as a whole needs to up their writing in the story. And we're going to see that with the Mando movie. We're going to see that with Ahsoka Season 2, whatever comes first. I think the Mando movie comes first, right? I'm not sure, but we need to see an uptick in that. And my biggest thing out of this show was the graphics look good for the space combat. I know it doesn't sound like much, but that's my biggest takeaway from this on will the space battles with wherever Thrawn is next look good, and I think they will. As long as they don't do the Acolyte stuff or some of those just did not look good. But here, and Kenobi's CGI was, oh boy, perfect time to talk about you, Kenobi. I'm using you right now. Your show was fantastic, bro. Best show I've ever seen, dude. Best show, 10 out of 10. All right, let's not get into it. We're not talking bad stuff about Kenobi. Let's not. Side note, we're still getting destroyed, but to be fair, I'm not even paying attention, so. What else? I don't really have much else to say. What did you guys think, I guess? What did I miss? Because I'm sure there's stuff. But again, let's be real here. It is a kid's show, so you got to give it a little more leeway than, you know, an adult show. They can get away with the little things that don't really make sense, like kids outsmarting a... I mean, actually, you know, one thing I will say, they never really went into Jod's backstory that much. He did say this episode he was found by a female Jedi. So the theory, I saw one theory, which, again, they never really went into super great detail, but one of the theories was Prong Krell could be his master, which Prong Krell is not a she, unless Disney really wants to trigger you-know-who and make us all talk about it. Prong Krell's not a she, so I wonder who it could be. Start your theories there. Do we know her? Do we not? Frankly, I kind of hope we don't know her, to be honest. Even if they just left it at that, I'm okay with it, to be honest. Like, we don't need to know everything about every person. Could just be a random female Jedi. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But I don't think we've seen the last of Jod. But I don't really want to see more of him, to be honest. I'm not hating on Jod. I like the actor that I can't remember his name because I'm horrible with names. But I'm not super into his character. And if they keep bringing him back, which they most likely will, because they didn't even do anything with him at the end, he just stood there. So we don't even know if he got captured. We don't know if he escaped. You don't know anything, but we know he's not dead at this point, right? So they kind of left it open where he could live, he could die, he could escape, be free, be prison, you know, whatever. He has so many options if they wanted to change the writing going forward. But what worries me about that is one of the things I praised about this show was that they kept him as a bad guy. And now by leaving him alive, they could still potentially, somewhere down the line, have him turn back to being a good guy, which I don't like when they do that with everybody. Like, Vader's an example of an awesome character where it works. Such a good character, such a good story. It works and it makes sense. If you do that with every villain, at that point, you're diminishing your villain. So, Jod's a perfect example of one. I would 100% let him stay as a bad guy, dude, because he's not that important to the overall story. You might as well let a bad guy be a bad guy occasionally. Like, let's not show him in, whether it's Ahsoka, we're just throwing examples, I don't know. But, like, whether it's Ahsoka Season 2 and I'm gonna redeem myself. Like, not all bad guys are redeemable. Like, you know, like, sometimes bad guys are just bad guys. We don't need to have that good story every time we see a villain. Because then when you go into any Star Wars project, you automatically know they're just gonna be a good guy. At least Palpatine stayed villain. That's why I like you, Palpatine. Sometimes villains need love too, bro. They don't need to be good guys to get love. Sometimes villains need love too. What else? Anyway, it's already over. There's really nothing else. There's only 5 more lives left because nobody's doing anything in true heroes versus villain fashion. But luckily, we're just here to talk about the show. I keep calling it the movie, but yeah. Thank God. I don't want them to make a movie of this. But anyway, what comes out next? Ahsoka Season 2? Or Ahsoka or the Mando movie? I know the Mando movie's this year, right? Towards the end of this year. Is it Andor this year? I'm all confused now. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Let me know what y'all thought about the show. And let's be real when we talk shit, not just, it's a horrible show, woke. You know, go into details or don't bother talking. If you're just gonna say it sucks, just wokeness or whatever, you gotta go into detail, otherwise I don't care. There you go. I don't care if you liked it or not. It's just how you go about liking or disliking is what I want to focus on. So let's focus on constructive criticism or love, not just stupid shit. Anyway, I hope you guys somehow managed to enjoy this random vid of just talking and not making any sense because I don't take any notes. I literally just finished the show like 3 minutes before recording this and we jumped on. So I haven't seen anyone else's thoughts of the season finale or nothing. No one else dictated my thoughts. Not that it matters, but you know, there you go. Just for those who want to know. But anyway, I'll see you guys.